Hi everybody, DJ Trains here. Welcome back to the channel. Pretty special video today, and one that has been in a long time in the making, and that is the fourth episode of Layout Stuff. If you've followed my channel for the entirety of its existence, about 5 years now, or at least if you followed it for a decent amount of time, you'll know that in the earlier kind of parts of my channel's history, I had a series called Layout Stuff where I would take individual parts of the layout, sorry, my camera's shaking, and dissect it, and I'd explain how I built stuff and everything. But I eventually got kind of busy, and I found it much easier to simply kind of put everything together in one layout tour video at the end of each year. And it also kind of made the fun of those, it also made those layout tour videos much more fun, much more exciting, because there was just so much more to show off. But this update I'm about to show you all is something that's been in the works for a long time, and something that I was finally able to figure out. And when I did, I was super excited. So allow me to introduce to you all the Skarloey Railway on the DJ Trains layout. Finally, after having this layout in this room here for the better part of, I'm going to say 9 years now, we finally have the Skarloey Railway on the DJ Trains layout. So a bit of backstory. I, for a number of years now, have teased putting the Skarloey Railway on the layout. People ask me all the time, let's go 0.5 so you guys can see it better. People have asked me all the time, I get, comments sometimes, and I always say in my layout tour videos that, this is the Skarloey layout, I don't know if it's going to change, it might soon, because originally, all that was here was the Take and Play Great Quarry Climb. And let's just go for a walk while I talk. Was the Great Quarry Climb. You guys can look at the main part of the loop as I go. And my original plan was to keep the Blue Mountain Quarry because I do love that location a lot. And I think, at least in terms of my philosophy of layout building, I like to have all the most necessary and important locations for the island of Sodor, from both CGI and model series and all that stuff. So keeping the Blue Mountain Quarry was paramount for me for a long time. And thus, I actually tried moving it a couple times. I tried putting it in this corner here. That didn't work. So eventually, when it came to building this new part of the layout, I had to think to myself, well, how am I going to do this? So I took apart the Great Quarry Climb set, I moved stuff around, I changed its position, I tried only a couple pieces of it, because it is the Take and Play Great Quarry Climb set that I own. But eventually I just came to the unfortunate realization that set sucks for layout building. It is not a great set in terms of building layouts. So I had to get creative, and I kind of implored the technique that I had with other locations on the island when building this section here. What I did was something similar that I did to my clay pits area here, where the clay pits is basically just an amalgamation of several different kind of quarry-esque locations on the island. The cement works, the clay pits, the Center Island Quarry, Farquhar Quarry, etc., etc., etc. I did sort of the same thing with the Blue Mountain Quarry over here. I am still calling it Blue Mountain Quarry. My layout headcanon is that they've mined away all the blue rock, so underneath is the goldish color underneath. But yeah, so what I did was I took the Rumbling Gold Mine, because it might as well be a narrow gauge location, let's be realistic here. I took the Superstation Owen, hung it on the wall behind it. I put Charlie's Day at the Quarry, that set here with Smudger in it as the generator. And then I started adding locations, I started adding some sidings and stuff, and I knew that I needed at least 2 loops, because I love loop lines with layouts so the trains can keep going and they don't have to stop dead. So that's why underneath the Rumbling Gold Mine, we have this loop line. So there is that there. Now, I do want to point out something that I think is very important to this. We do technically still, with Owen and this hill, have the incline. And my theory is that Owen's incline here, the Rumbling Gold Mine, this is all, and the Blue Mountain Quarry, it's all kind of amalgamating together to form what is basically a super version of the incline from Season 4. The one specifically where, Peter Sam has his accident with the trucks once their handle fakes sick. and I forget which episode it is, but essentially it's that specific incline. It's the one from season, I believe, 9, where Skarloey goes all the way to the top and then goes down. It's the one where Duncan breaks from the trucks and goes flying off the end. So yeah, this is basically a super amalgamated, kind of beefed up version of that quarry. And I think it serves as a great narrow gauge location. So let's just dissect it, let's take it apart. So, first we got Owen, and we got Rusty, and we got the top of the line here with Freddy, this troublesome truck, and there's Sir Handel in there. Then you got some abandoned mines underneath. I'm hoping to maybe put some more vehicles in there, I don't know. Like I said, we got Smudger as the generator over here. My headcanon is that they brought him down from the mountains when they found, or after they found Duke, so he's just hanging out there. And then you have the yard here, where you have Luke, Ivo, Hugh, Rheneas, Duncan, I got the narrow gauge song stuck in my head now, Duke, which I'm super happy to have with some room to run now, and Peter Sam, he's right here, and then of course Mighty Mac. Now, you might be wondering, what is this station? Well, it's not Crovin's Gate, because Crovin's Gate, as I've explained, is all the way over there. So on my layout, this is Crosney Curran. And the reason I picked Crosney Curran is because, A, I think it's the coolest sounding name for all the narrow gauge stations, first and foremost. Second of all, I believe it is the second station. I might be wrong on this, but it's one of the earlier stations on the line after Crovin's Gate. So I figured, why not just have it be there? Now, from here, of course, we have this loop, but the line traverses up past the Farquhar loop, past the Farquhar sheds, pardon me, behind the windmill. And from there, it traverses along behind the barn, behind the clay pits, and then it comes out just behind Wellsworth with its own little station. Now, I've made sure to kind of build up the Wellsworth village in order to kind of still give that separation and to kind of make the visual noise sort of organized. And by that, I mean, so there's not a lot of dead space, or at least where there is dead space, it visually makes sense. Like this is Trevor's Vicarage Orchard, so that makes sense to have right there. And the village of Wellsworth behind it. And here we have Skarloey at, of course, Skarloey Station, which is right at the end of the line. There's a loop line, and then it comes all the way back down and then back to the yard. But there are a couple things I have not mentioned, and I probably should mention now. The 2014 Taken Place Scrapyard set is gone, and it's been replaced by the Christmas Reg variant of the Scrapyard, which I, at some point, am probably going to replace, maybe with the wooden Reg, I don't know. And then, I forgot to mention this. To accommodate the space needed for the line back there, the clay pits has been completely redone in terms of its track plan, but I think it still looks really, really good, and it still works in the compact space it has. And I, at some point, also would like to put Colin somewhere in here on the layout, whether he be closer to the pardon me, my voice is getting strained. Whether he be closer to the docks over here, or whether he be, over here, and there's a wharf area, I don't know. But needless to say, the Skarloey Railway is here. It's better than I hoped it could have been ever, and it's here to stay. And I am very, very happy that it is finally on my layout. Which now, of course, means that we finally, on the DJ Trains layout, have all 4 Sudrian railways, at least at the time of the series taking place, represented. We have the Arlesdale Railway, we have the Standard Gauge Railway, we have the Caldy Fell Railway, and we have the Skarloey Railway. And I, for one, could not be happier. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you to everyone who encouraged me to put the Skarloey Railway on the layout. I think without those comments and those kind of people, especially in the fandom, the love that people have for the narrow gauge engines, that really inspired me. And, that itch to put them here never really left. So thank you guys so much. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.